Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X. Last time, get out of my way, Waka. We met Waka, the guy with the awesome cowlick hair. It's the, so far, the king of this game of stupid hair. That will not last forever. Oh no.
Ah, the one from the sea.
Yeah, we saw you guys
Be
running
on
away.
guard. There are fiends on the road today.
I haven't found any.
After surviving your run-in with Sin, it would be a shame if something happened now.
Yeah. I got a sword. I can take on any
they?
monsters.
Luzu and Gata, Crusaders.
Cruise of what?
Shut up,
What,
Titus.
you forgot that too?
Yeah, I've played that clip before.
Sorry.
It's
Don't
really
worry
dumb.
about it. I'll help you out.
Well, that's nice of you,
Cool.
but
In return, come tournament time, I'll make sure we take the cup.
yes, we will.
About the Crusaders, you can ask them yourself. They got a lodge in a village.
Alrighty then. Yeah, I don't know why Titus has to be such an annoying idiot, but he does, so sure, why not? Yeah, that's all kind of part and parcel to why people don't tend to like Titus's character.
Besaid village.
There you
Hey,
go.
got any food there?
Yeah,
We'll get you something over there later. Take a look around first.
I believe he pointed to his own hut. Speaking of huts,
Let's
yes,
see.
that's
The Crusaders
it.
lodge is over yonder. Luzu and Gata are usually there.
Those are the people we met just a moment ago.
All right. Over here.
Huh? What's up?
Now what?
You do remember the prayer, right?
Sure?
I didn't know it in the first place, to tell the truth.
Yep.
Man, that's like the basics of the basics. All right, I'll show you.
I swear I've seen someone do that earlier on in this game.
Go ahead, you try.
Now, if I recall correctly, this is the one and only time you're required to do this with Titus. You don't actually do it, but this is the only time the game forces you to watch him
Not bad.
perform the prayer. It's kind of interesting because there's a number
now
of
go present
optional
yourself to the temple summoner.
points.
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the blitzball sign for victory.
There you go. Yeah, we saw the kids doing it when they asked earlier on in the game how if they would, or if he would teach them how to blitz or teach them how to play blitzball. All right, we've made the first town. Sure thing. Take care not to travel alone. Huh. Yeah, the one of the interesting aspects to this game is, you know, we go from this sci-fi city. I'm just gonna grab the treasure here. There's a secret passage back here. You go from the sci-fi city with everything, you know, highly advanced, and then you come to your next village that you actually get to do anything in, and it is literally just the smallest little village in the world. There's only 5 huts and a temple, and that's the entire village. Huh. Wow, that's rather depressing, actually. Like, there's many aspects to the plot that we could unpack. I'm not going to try and unpack everything all at once, because it would just take too long. But, oh, so you're teaching people stuff. How about you? You have items, do you not? You have the most basic items in the game. Perfect. Now, one thing you could do is you could sell the grenades that we stole all of, get you a little bit more money. One of the things you could do is you could have stolen 99 grenades and grabbed all the potions and then tried to sell them all so that you could get toward a goal of 10,000 gil early on in the game. That really doesn't help you out all that much, so I'm not going to do it, but the option's there if you're interested in that. And at Waka's suggestion, we should go in here and talk to these guys. Make sure you pick up the hidden stupid book. Even in my test run, I missed this. And if you miss it now, and you don't get it before you leave the island, you will not get it until hours upon hours into the post-game. Really kind of stupid. It's one of the reasons why I would recommend playing the original PS2 version, and whenever I say that, I'm obviously talking about the North American release, because I think the original PAL release was the international version, which is very much the same as this version, just not updated in terms of graphics, and no game boosters. Sounds like something we should know, or we should be doing there.
Hey, you! You were attacked by Sin, right? Recently, was it?
I think so.
So, Sin can't be far, right? You're not hiding anything, are you?
I have
Why
no
would I?
idea.
If Sin's nearby, it'll attack the island for sure. But it hasn't. I wonder why.
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything. To tell the truth, I don't even know what the Crusaders are.
You're kidding, right?
Sin, the toxin. Gotta tell him who we are.
Yes, sir! The Crusaders are sworn to battle Sin. We have chapters throughout Spira, accepting all who wish to join our struggle. The hero Mihen formed the Crusaders 800 years ago as the Crimson Blades. Later, our ranks grew and we called ourselves the Crusaders. We've been fighting Sin ever since.
That was
What? You've
so
been fighting 800 years
lame.
and you still haven't beat it?
Well, we've steered Sin away from towns many times. And that's all we can do. Nobody's ever been able to defeat it.
Luzu,
Our
at
mission
least,
as Crusaders is to protect the temples, towns, villages, and people of Spira.
at least his voice
So,
sounds
then whose job is it
like
to defeat
an
Sin?
actual person.
Is Sin's toxin really this bad, sir?
I find Gada's
Does
voice
seem rather
really does not fit
We could just
at
tell
all.
you, but I think it better for you to try and remember.
We could
Go pray at
try.
the temple. Perhaps Yevon will help you regain your memory.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember something that I don't think ever happened, but we'll see. What about you? Do you say anything? Oh, yeah, you can get a free nap here if you want. And there's a save point here with the free healing, so there's that. I don't think there's any other items in here. But yeah, I just find Gada's delivery on that entire speech there, it doesn't sound real. It sounds like someone reading from a script, and I guess, you know, he remembered that, but for someone who I know a little bit about his character and the fact that he has a great amount of pride in his role as a Crusader, he really should be, you know, not reciting it from memory. He should be passionate about it. And I just think that was a misstep on the voice direction. But anyway, so we've done that. Let's head in here. The one thing with this game is there's not really a whole lot of point in talking to a lot of NPCs around here. There's not a whole lot to it. Like, there's a few points where it'll make sense to talk to NPCs because the NPCs will kind of give you an idea of the emotional state of a village or something like that. But this is the only time they ever talk about fabrics in the entire game, as far as I know. And what do you talk about? Okay, that at least is world building a little bit. And yeah, you don't care about you. Let's go in this one. I believe this is Waka's hut.
Go present yourself to the temple summoner before we eat, yeah?
But I'm hungry! Somebody get me a steak. And I believe... can't remember what's in this hut, actually. Probably because it's not important. Okay. Is that all we get out of you? Yeah. That's all I get? Yeah, I'm not going to be talking to all the NPCs in this game. Definitely not. It just doesn't seem all that worth it. I remember there being something up here, and if I remember what it is, it'll show up here later. Just kind of remember that there's going to be something up there much later in the game. Alright. Don't want to know if you're going to join basically a military front or the Aurochs. I'll just tell you that's the name of the Blitzball team. But yeah, I am from a place that I should not mention. We'll talk to a few of the NPCs around here just to kind of show off what I'm talking about, how most of them don't really say all that much interesting about the game. And there's a lot of NPCs that just walk around and they, you know, that's more realistic, I get it. But at the same time, the fact that these NPCs are walking around, you're going to miss half of them anyway if you're just wandering through the village. Which is fine, it's just I'm not going to go out of my way to talk to everybody because it just wouldn't be feasible. Anyone who gives me an item, at least to my knowledge, I will be going to talk to those people. But
It was then,
that's about
standing in that place.
What do you see?
I began to realize how different this world was from my own.
And that's one of the more interesting aspects of the game, is the juxtaposition and the dynamic between Titus and his values, his experiences, and his understandings compared with the world that we're starting to develop into. Oh, well, that's dark. And there's another thing that's somewhat interesting about the game. Well, we're gonna start the cutscene. Okay, never mind. But yeah, there's a lot of bright color use, but at the same time, a lot of
10 years
the
have passed since
ideas
Lord Braska became High Summoner.
are very dark.
And finally, we receive a statue for our temple.
Oh, what's a High Summoner? I got too close to Sin's, toxin. It was funny hearing myself make the same excuse over and over. Funny, and a little sad.
I really like
The
that
summoners
specific
are
line.
practitioners of a sacred art, sworn to protect the people of Yevon. Only a chosen few become summoners, who call forth entities of great power, the Aeons. The Aeons hear our prayers and come down to us. They are the blessing of Yevon.
So what he meant was that we should respect some kind of great men, or something like that, I figured.
But yeah, like there are certain aspects to Titus's inner monologue that I'm not a fan of, but that line in particular I think works really, really well. And in addition to it working so well, I just find it particularly interesting to have that running dialogue, the monologue, the internal aspect of that, just because I think it works really well, especially when trying to understand our main character who's been thrust into a world that's completely different from anything he's ever known. Huh. Well, I guess I'm in trouble, if indeed suffering from the toxin is what has happened to me. You're not allowed up here. Only guardians may approach the cloister of trials. I'll try and, get words together that aren't, a merger of two different words, and there's nobody in there. There are a number of these rooms on either side of the, well, never mind. I'll talk about that later. No biggie. Hello? Oh, why would he want to do that? Anyway. You will notice that we get kind of a hymn going on when we enter the temple there. They do a really good job of adjusting the music for the scene in this game. It's not perfect, but it's definitely reasonably well done.
Sorry, man. No time for lunch yet.
What?
Take a nap. You look bushed.
I'm hungry. Where's my steak? Ah, well, we'll take a nap. That's fine, too.
You could at least go see how they are doing.
We can't interfere. It's a rule.
What rule?
But it's been nearly.
Hello? That's one of the strange things that they never explain.
But it's been nearly.
Okay, we'll go into this
It's been nearly a
flashback.
day already.
Perhaps you could go look for us.
People are searching for him now.
Thank you.
Who cares whether he comes back or not?
Ah, little baby Titus.
But he might die.
Who might?
Fine, let him.
Do you hate him so? But if he dies, You'll never be able to tell him how much you hate him.
That line seemed to give him a flashback. I'm not sure who they're talking about there. But the point I was trying to make there is, Waka says that it's
Waka?
against the rule, and then they don't explain it. But the thing is, it's not against the rule. It really shouldn't be. Basically, they're saying he should be at a different point, and in, you know, half an hour worth of game time, we'll figure out what they're talking about, and it doesn't make any sense. He should be allowed. So I'm not sure what the hell is going on with that. But as long as you made sure that you picked up the, well, you don't have to pick up the Elbed primer now, but I would recommend doing it now so you don't forget later, because, at least in my case, I always seem to forget later.
Is something wrong?
The summoner hasn't returned from the trial.
What trial?
Eh?
Well, apprentice summoner, really.
There you go.
There's a room in there called the Cloister of Trials. Beyond is where the apprentice summoner prays. If the prayer is heard, the apprentice becomes a fully fledged summoner. Remember?
No.
So someone is in there somewhere and they haven't come back out. Right, I got it.
The day's
pretty
already
much.
gone by.
Is it particularly dangerous in there?
No.
Sometimes, yes.
No!
Why don't you go in and help?
There's already guardians in there. Besides, it's forbidden.
No, it's not!
Hey, but what if something happens? What if the summoner dies?
The precepts must be obeyed.
Like I care.
Okay, you don't go to the village that protects you and saves you from drowning in the water, and then just spit all over their
Maybe.
beliefs.
This
Whether you
wasn't such a
believe
good
them or not.
idea after all.
Yeah, probably not. The Cloister of Trials, and this music over and over and over again for like half an hour on end at some of these. Yeah, so basically the Cloister of Trials occurs every time we go to a temple. And in this case, we're going to a temple, and there's two aspects to doing the Cloister of Trials. The reason why I keep saying that Waka, just basically follow the things that I'm doing here. Glyph glows, and we're going to touch it, and then it's going to activate something, we're going to do something, and basically, if you just keep going in order, you'll get through this pretty easily. And this one's really simple, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, at least until after I get across the point I wanted to make about Waka. He says that he's, you know, he needs to obey the rules or whatever, and all this stuff, but the thing is, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because he should be allowed to go... There we go. He should be allowed to go in here, and they will talk about this in a moment. I'm not entirely sure what the hell they're going on about here. But, anyway. This gives you a basic overview of how spheres work. You touch a glyph, and I believe this makes a sphere appear. Yeah, there you go. We got a glyph sphere. You can only carry one sphere at a time. Basically, you're going to get little spheres, you're going to be able to put them in things, and it will allow you to progress through these little puzzle rooms. And that's pretty much what the Cloister of Trials are. As soon as you go through, you can actually grab the sphere right back out of the door. You need to do this in order to move on, but I believe you put it here, and this will open the door, and this gives us access to... Can I move in? Ah, Destruction Sphere. Oh, is it that wall that I touch? Now, if I remember correctly, we want to touch the symbols here, which will activate movement somewhere. Okay, it opens that door. And is there a sphere over here? And no, I think I have to put some stuff in a spot there to activate that. So we got a Besaid sphere. We'll take that one, and I think that one I just need to put into here, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so like I was saying, there's two aspects to... No, don't. Game, I did not push that. Yeah, I know how it works. Don't force me to do that and make me miss the item. Okay, there we go. So yeah, there's two aspects. One is making it to the end of the puzzle room. The second aspect, stop that, is using the destruction spheres to obtain secret item. Well, not really secret items, but there's special items that you get in each of the dungeons or each of the cloisters of trial. And you want to do these all on the first run, specifically if you're playing the remaster or the international version of the game. In the PS2 version, you can make do without it, but you really want to pick up most of the items just to use anyway. This one in particular we'll use for most of the game, as sad as that is. But if it's the one I think it is anyway. Yeah, I will use that until, like, I don't know, 40 hours into the game. But yeah, you want to make sure you pick up all of the items from the Destruction Spheres, specifically in the international version. And once you do that, it'll just make life easier later on to get some of the stuff that we need. Once you've gotten the Destruction Sphere, then you can move on.
What's gotten into you? Hey, it's okay. Only summoners, apprentice summoners, and their guardians can enter here. It's a tradition, very important.
Okay.
So what about you?
Yeah.
Me? I'm a guardian.
Then there's no reason you couldn't have gone in the first place.
A guardian?
It's not against the rules. This game is dumb. So yeah, see, based on what they just said, it doesn't make any sense why he would not be able to go in.
Guardians protect them.
I have no idea. Not a clue.
The Guardian's in there now. One of them's got a sure fuse, and who knows what the other's thinking.
And the thing is, he could be talking about either of them with either
far?
of those points.
Might as well go all the way.
Yeah, let's go get in trouble. Sounds like a good plan. It runs us right through. I don't think we get to do anything for a little while here. Just watch the cutscenes.
What are you doing here? Didn't think we'd be able to handle it.
It's not like there's monsters in here.
It's just... See, I told you she gets mad easy.
Strange Blue Dude, how are you?
Is the summoner all right?
Is this the first time you noticed that he was here?
Are you?
The reaction is interesting if you know the backstory of all the characters. The breathing kind of adds a little bit of an air of mystery or worry to the scene. It's kind of odd. I don't really think it belongs.
I've done it. I have become a summoner.
That scene always bothers me. Like, the animation is great, but the limp syncing is so far off that it just seems awkward. One other thing to note is...
Man, was I surprised.
Most of...
And here I was thinking summoners were all old geezers.
Most of the Final Fantasy games before now have usually featured a lot of Western-like characters. You know, we've had the European medieval setups and all that stuff. You know, the castles and all that kind of deal. In this game, that's based more on kind of the Asian past, Asian mythology kind of aspects to a lot of things. And that was applied to the character design as well. You know, the character we just saw there and Titus as well are both very much kind of have that Asian facial structure. And so it's rather interesting to see the kind of the change in dynamic, the change in tone from the previous sets of games. You know, Final Fantasy IX was very much kind of the end of the golden era of medieval Final Fantasy games. We haven't had one since. You know, we get aspects of kind of, you know, being stuck in the past in this game, but in, you know, 12 there's airships, and in 13 there's whatever the hell that is, I don't even know. And we're in cars in 15. Okay, sure. Why not? Oh! So I'm not in trouble anymore. Cool. You know what? That's probably pretty much good for today. Because if I run into the next cutscene, it's going to take like another 10 minutes or something like that. So anyway, that's where I'll cut it off for today. Next time we will go back and we'll finish up the rest of the cutscene and move forward with the game. That's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.